Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are diving in Amazon S3, AWS powerful storage service, but how does it stack up against Google Drive or Dropbox? Stick around and I will show you how to master S3 in no time. So what makes S3 different while Google Drive and Dropbox are great for personal use? S3 is designed for scale, handling everything from website hosting to huge data sets for machine learning. Plus, it's pay as you go. So you have to only pay for what you use. Now let's dive into AWS and we have to search here S3. If you have account, you can just log into your AWS account. If you don't have, you have to create your AWS account. Then you have on the dashboard, you have to search S3 and you have to go to the S3. And here you will see this dashboard where you can create bucket and you can see the list of buckets you have. So first of all, we are going to create our first bucket. Create bucket and give a name to your bucket. I will give name code with move S3 DevOps. You can give any name, but give a unique name. Then we have to here object ownership. Right now we will disable it as recommended for now, but later on we will also play around how we can enable why and the reason behind it. And block public access settings for this bucket, so I'm just going to keep it as it is. We have to just click on create the bucket. When the bucket is created, so you will see your bucket and bucket is created in this region. You can also decide which region to create. We will also learn that. So just click on your bucket. And on this page, on the tab of objects, you can see we don't have any objects inside our bucket. Let's upload a file. Just click on add files button. And now I'm going to upload an image on my S3 bucket. And we can click on upload button here and this object will be uploaded on our S3. When the bucket, in the bucket we have a new object, then what we can do? We will try to access this bucket on the Google and we will see how we can access it. So the object bucket uploading can take time based on the size, and we can upload maximum of terabyte. The size of the objects can be, but let's have a look at our object. So I will just go here and I will click on my object. If I try to open the object, okay, and I can see the object, and right now the object is not totally public, but we are going to how we can check it. Suppose this is the object URL and this was the pre-signed URL where I have the all the authentications where I can access the object. But if I have to copy this object URL, which is a more simpler, and you can see we don't have access to view this on this URL. And now we are going to learn how we can access this in this way. So I'm just going to go at my bucket, and if I go to my permissions tab, and here you can see block all public access. So you can enable it if you want to and save changes, confirm. When you're done with the making these changes, so now try to access this object again, and you can see the object is still not accessible. Okay, and if we go back to our bucket, and in the bucket, and we want to access on this URL, So the solution is because we have disabled the bucket access, but it is not still accessible. Now what we have to do, we have to set a policy for our bucket. S3, AWS S3 supports a bucket policies where we can update the bucket policy and we can have, access our objects, on the Google. So I have a bucket policy which is a very simple, and I will going to create a bucket policy. And here this is a sample a policy where the principle is it will give all the access to the objects inside the bucket only on a get object operation. So I have to enter my bucket name, which is code with move S3 DevOps, and I will save this policy changes. And now if I try to access this, and now you can see we are able to access it because we have made a policy inside our S3 bucket. And one more thing, like what if we block all access, and we have to save the changes, and we see no, we have our block public accesses on, and but we have the policy. And then we try to access the object again, and we can see we are not able to access it. So we must make sure we have these two settings enabled if we want to allow a public access, a bucket policy and block public access. This is a key feature of S3. Next, we have another feature which is intelligent tiering and archive configuration. Imagine you are uploading objects on your S3 bucket, but with the time, if you're not accessing those objects for a long period of time, and you don't want to pay, the price, standard price, if so, you can set intelligent tiering. What it will do, if you go to the properties tab, this is so if when this is enabled, okay, so object will be stored to a different classes, okay, it will to archive classes or deep archive classes, so the cost will be reduced. So if you have to click on configuration, you can give a name, DevOps S3 cost, and you have to, if you want to apply a certain folder inside the S3, you can enter the folder name, or if you want to apply all objects in the bucket, then you can click on it. And if you want to enable this configuration, then you can make it enable. If you want to disable it, okay, you can also do that. So the rules you want to create, like when it should move to the archive, okay, access tier. So here we can see if when it's enabled, okay, the objects they have not been accessed for minimum 90 days, okay, so they will be moved to this archive access tier. I will say 100 days. If the object is not accessed, minimum we can set 90 days. Okay, and if I have to create, so this policy is now enabled. No, next time when objects are being stored, and in automatically AWS S3 will detect if the object is not being accessed, it will move from standard to archive class. How I can, let me show you. This is a storage class. If you go into a bucket, you can see this object. An object is available in a standard class. So after 90 days, after 100 days, if you have an intelligent tiering policy, a configuration setup, then it will move this object to a different storage class to save cost and money. Next, we are going to learn AWS CLI and S3, like how we can, create a bucket and upload images, download images from S3 bucket using our terminal instead of using S3 console. So what you have to do, you have to open IAM. First of all, we have to uh, create a user, IAM user, and we will use this IAM user to authenticate on our terminal. Just you have to click on IAM, and here you have to go to the users, and you have to create a user. Click on create user, give a name, any name, code with DevOps. Next, attach policies. So we are going to attach S3 policy, Amazon S3 full access. Next, we can create this user. When this user is created, just click on this user and go to the security credentials. And here we have to create access key and the secret key. Select command line interface. And next, we have to create access key and the secret key. Now, if I have to go to my terminal, here I will be communicating with S3 locally. So before we, how it will work, you have to install AWS CLI on your system. And it's very easy for if you're using Windows, Mac, any other operating system. You can look at here on the official website of AWS and you can follow the instruction, and it is easy to download AWS CLI and you can install it on your system. And as I have already installed, but you can simply install it. When you have done installation, then you have to configure the AWS. You have to write this command AWS configure, and it will ask you the access key. So you have the access key already here, just copy it. And meanwhile, you can download CSV for later use as well. So, and I will enter my access key. Then I have to copy the secret access key. And then I have to enter my region, like which region I want to use. If you want to use, US East, US West, any other region, but I'm going to go with US East one, my default region. The region names you can look here at, you can see all the region. So I'm just going with my default region, so I will not enter anything. So I am now configured with my AWS S3. So now we are going to create a bucket with our terminal. So you can see currently I have only 2 buckets. Now let's go and we are going to create a bucket here. I'm going to write a command AWS S3 make bucket S3, and I'm going to give a name to my bucket. I will give name code with move 100 and the region. You have to tell in which region you want to create the bucket. So I'm going to create an US East 1. So now this command will create and make a bucket, and if I have to go to my AWS console and if I have to refresh, and you can see here, this is the bucket that I have created. And if I go to this bucket, I can see the bucket is totally empty. And what I can do here, I can upload an image to this bucket. To upload an image to this bucket, I will write a command AWS S3, copy an image from local my system to the S3. So for this, I am just going to use a path users, my system path, and on desktop, or here I have I have an image. The image name is github.png. And this file I'm going to upload on S3. Then I have to tell in which bucket I am going to upload. So I'm going to upload in my code with Mo100. In this bucket, I'm going to upload this image. So we have to run this command and we can see the file is being uploaded on S3 bucket. So how it's very easy and simple to upload the image from your local system to your S3. So if I just go and open my, I have to refresh and I will be able to see the object because object is currently being uploaded. So when it will be completely uploaded, then I will be able to see it on S3. So object is now successfully uploaded. So we can refresh and we can see here the object is available, which is nice. Next, we have to learn another command which will tells us if we want to list, all the buckets, all the buckets in our S3. So if I have AWS S3 LS, it will tell me how many buckets are in my S3 and when the buckets were created. Next thing is that I want to list down all the objects in the bucket. So currently we listed down all the buckets, but no, we want to list down objects inside the bucket. So same command, just we have to append the name of the bucket. So if I just enter the bucket name and it will tell us all the objects available in my bucket. Next, we have to do one thing, how we can download the image from S3 to the local system. So if I check you in my local folder, I have this file. So, and if I go on my S3 and here you can see, I am going to, just maybe rename this. I'm going to actions. I want to rename the object. We can rename as well. I will give name get and I will save the changes. So when the changes are being saved, no, I will just download this image into my local system. To download the file to my local system, I will run the command AWS S3 and S3, the bucket name, make sure the bucket name we entered the correct code with Mo100 and the file name will be get.png and the path where I want to download this file, I will give that path, the folder. So inside this folder, I want to download. So here you can see the file is now being downloaded into my local system. Okay, so file is being downloaded. So if I just do ls and you can see get.png is now available in my local system as well. The next command we are going to learn how we can remove an object, which is also very simple. I have to run a command AWS S3 RM, okay, and I have to tell the which object I have to delete. So I will just give a name to my bucket name, which is code with Mo100, and I will give name get.png. So in that bucket, if the file will be available, it will delete this file. Okay, so file is now deleted. So if I have to go and if I have to refresh and I will see there will be no file available into this bucket. And next command that we are going to learn how we can delete the bucket, which is also simple. We have to run the command AWS S3 or B S3, we have to give the bucket name code with move 100, and we have to, if the force command will be only used if you have the objects available in your S3. It will first delete all the objects and then delete S3 bucket. But I don't have any objects into this bucket, so I will just simply use this command, and this will simply remove my bucket. So if I go to AWS S3 console buckets, and if I have to refresh, and you can see we don't have the bucket available. This is how you can use AWS S3 communication using AWS CLI. I have all the commands. Many more commands are also available in my article. You can use it. Link is available in this video description. Next, we are going to learn about how we can get notified when something happened on our S3. Is there any mechanism? Suppose this is my bucket, and inside this bucket, I want to get notified like when an object is deleted, or maybe when an object is updated, or when the object is created. So I want to get notified on my email. So what I will do, I have to go to the management. We have to go into the properties where we can set up notifications, which is event notification. So to create the event notifications, we have to do some things before we create this, because we want to make sure how we will get notified, what will be the mechanism, what will be the method. Okay, so at the end you will see we have some protocols, like we can use Lambda function, SNS. These are the services of AWS. So I will be using SNS. Okay, so because I have to create a topic, okay, SNS topic, before I create this event notification. So what I have to do, I will just search SNS, simple notification service, and here you have to create a topic. Click on topics and create a topic. Just do a standard. My topic name will be email messaging, just something simple. And here we have to just keep the settings by default right now and create a topic. And when the topic is created, we have to update the policy here. Okay, so this should our S3 will be able to send events to this SNS, and this SNS will send to our email. So I will first of all create a subscription here, protocol. So I want to receive an email. I will enter my email code with move, and I will just create a subscription. Okay, I have to enter complete name. So when this subscription is created, you will get a notified from AWS. So if I show you, and here you can see I have received this notification. Okay, so I will confirm to this subscription to receive the emails. Okay, subscription is confirmed. Now I will go back to my topic. And one more thing that we have to configure, which is we have to update the policy here. To update the policy, I'm just going to use a policy template that I have, which is available in the article. So I have to edit the policy. So I will just click on edit, access policy, and here you have to replace with the policy. And the few things we have to update here, first of all, account ID. So this is my account ID. I will just copy and I will replace. and also the bucket, region name, because I'm using US East 1, and SNS topic name. My SNS topic name is that I have created. The topic name was email, and then we have to also replace the name of account, ID of the account here as well, and then you have to also change the region name if the region is different, and then you have to update the bucket here account ID, which is fine, and then SNS topic name, which is email, and here the bucket name. The bucket name is code with move S3, and I think it's DevOps. Everything is fine. Just make sure you have into the correct details, and then you can save these changes. Save these changes, and then you have to go back to your AWS S3 and go to the properties tab, and here you have to click on event notification, create an event notification. You can give any name, events. If you want to only receive a particular folder, then you have to tell which folder objects. If something happen into specific folder, then you can receive notification only related to that folder objects. But I'm just going to apply on my whole bucket, so I don't need to make changes here. And then event type, like I want to get a notification when objects are removal, okay, like permanent delete, or if you want to just want to specify, then you can choose here as well. And we can also choose like post when the objects is created or removed, so we can get a notification. So just scroll down, you can get notification on a lot of things. There's a lot of options you can utilize, and choose the SNS topic that I have already created, and this was my SNS topic. So what I will do, I will just make a save changes. Okay, so you have to wait, because when the SNS topic is created, sometimes it takes time to get ready and utilize. So if I have to go to my SNS topic, and if I just try to copy the ARN, okay, and I have to go and try to enter the ARN of the topic. Okay, still sometimes it takes a little time to get ready to use. So we have to just confirm one thing more as well, which is the policy. So if I just go to the policy, okay, and I have to double check if something is wrong, anything is wrong, then we can confirm it. And if I have to look here, my region name is correct, okay, my account ID, and this is my topic name, and this is my account ID, which is also good, and US East 1, which is region, that's fine, and also the account ID, SNS topic, everything is good. And this is my S3 bucket name. Okay, so here you can see what mistake we did, code with move. So U is missing here. That's why it's very important. We have to make sure if we are going to, in the policy, we have to make sure we have entered the correct. Otherwise, SNS, event notification will not be created in the S3. So I can just double confirm my bucket name, which is code with move S3 DevOps. So I can make sure, okay, all good now. So now I will make save changes, and then I have to go and I have to create the notifications again. Go to the properties and click on create notification, give a name, events, and then just we can all object creation, removal, and choose SNS, save changes, and you can see no. So it can take little time. Also make sure the policy is correct. No, I'm just going to do one thing in my account, my bucket. I'm going to delete this object. If I have to delete this object, I should be getting notified via email that object is deleted. So just click on permanently delete, and if I go to my email inbox, I will be able to see a notification from AWS. And you can see here, I have received the notification that an event happened, okay, and the object is removed. So we can get notifications, okay, so event name is object removed. That is how you can set SNS with S3, so you can get notified if something happened into your bucket. Next, we are going to learn about another topic. If you go to the management, we are going to learn about lifecycle rules. What does lifecycle rule do? So this is define the actions. If we want Amazon S3 to take action during an object lifetime, suppose we want to transit, we want to move objects from one class to another class to save the cost. So that's why this life cycle rule come. If I have to create a life cycle rule, I can say save money, any name you can give. You want to apply on certain folder, you can apply, or you can apply on all objects in the bucket. So I will go with all objects, and here you can choose lifecycle rule actions. So we can see transition of current version of the object between storage classes. We are going to do one thing here, delete expired objects, okay, or we can say expired current version, anything that we want to do, okay. We want to permanently delete non current version of the object. We will also learn about how we can make the variants, so you will understand it better. But I think the better for now is we have to move from one class to between the storage classes. So I will just choose this, and I will say if the object is in the standard class, okay, it should be stay in that for the 50 days, or we can say for 30 days. And after 30 days it should move to, we can say, a glacier deep archives, okay. It will be moved after 50 days. So after 50 days, move objects, okay, to this storage class. So we can move from one class to another class, okay. And then what we have to do, so you can see here, object is uploaded, okay. And then after 30 days, object will be moved to standard A class. And then after 50 days, it will be moved to the glacier deep archive. And I have to create the rule. Okay, at least 30 more than the value of standard. So we have to make sure the value should be, we have to 60. So as per AWS rules, so the rule is created and enabled. So this is how, if you don't want this rule life cycle, then you can delete it, okay. If you want to make some changes, you can add it as well. Next, we have a replication rule. In management tab, if you go, we have a create replication rule. What it does, it will create copies of objects. If I have to just click on here, like how it works, okay. So before we create replication rule, we have to enable the bucket variant. Let's understand bucket variant a little bit before we create replication rule. So if I have to go to the properties, here I will click on bucket. Okay, enable it. And what it will do, suppose if we are going to upload the same object on S3 multiple time, it will keep the previous variants of the object. Okay, that's why the variants in S3 are important if you want to keep older objects. Now let's go into the management. And here we have to create a replication rule. Enter the rule ID, anything you can say, replication. Okay, we want to keep it enabled. And if I want to apply to my bucket, so I want to choose the bucket, like when the object will be created into a particular bucket, which is this bucket, and then this bucket images, when something is happened, like I have created a new image, uploaded onto my bucket, and I want it should be created into another region, into another AWS account to have more, to make it more secure, like objects should be available all the time. So this is for some bigger companies, they also use this way to, for to make sure the objects does not, get lost. Even if you have just one bucket, there's a 99% chances the object is more secure at one bucket as well. But you can also, you know keep your objects from one bucket to other buckets automatically, so it will be replicated automatically. So if I show you, I have another bucket name, which is, I will just go code with 2. So if something will, I will create into my DevOps bucket. So it will also, and one thing is the region of the bucket. Okay. And this is in my different region, which is fine. Okay. Now we have to just click on create a new role for this. And we don't want to apply anything, which is good. Save. So when something will be created into my bucket, it will be automatically, you know, you want to replicate the existing object. If you have already in some objects in your bucket, you can choose that. Okay, submit, which is fine. We can cancel it because we don't have the objects in my bucket right now. So, but replication rule is now created. Okay, now let's have some demo. Let's open this old bucket where the objects will be copied, and also this bucket, the source bucket. So I'm just going to upload something. I am going to upload this image into my bucket. You can drag and drop as well and save. When we will save, and we will be able to see if the object is, available in my old bucket or not. So let's upload it. So replication rule tells the object will be copied to another bucket if we have the replication rule. So if I have to refresh, and if we have to go, currently the object has not arrived. Okay. For this, we have to do one thing. We have to go to our replication rule, management, replication, we have to go to the settings, actions, edit. So replication time. Okay. So new object within a 15 minutes. Okay. It will be, replicated. So AWS says, if you want to, move, make a copy of the object, you have to enable if you want in a 15 minutes, but they will charge you extra. But the replication, like it can take you a few hours if you don't want to enable this. So they will automatically replicate. But for now, if we want to enable it, okay, so we can save the changes. So within a 15 minutes, it will be automatically replicated. So we will see it in a few minutes. Okay, you can see here, no object is automatically available here if this settings are enabled in your replication role. So this is how you can do a replication in AWS S3 for your objects. Let's understand some more advanced concepts. If you go to the properties, and if we want to do few things like object lock, what object lock do? So when the object is like return, okay, we can say the object should not be deleted. So this is some configuration that we can do. So it will lock the objects, so you are more secure. Like if someone is trying to delete the object from your terminal, so it will not be deleted. Okay, so it protects your account, okay, your S3 bucket objects, so you can avail this feature as well. And one is about, if I go to properties, I want to see here uh, one thing, which is, yeah, object ownership. Object ownership is a simple, like you can control the ownership of objects written to this bucket from AWS account. Like if you have multiple AWS account that you are using, so they can have the ownership of the object, like, and they can delete, remove, if you want to enable this. So you will need to enable this, okay, but this is not recommended. Okay, so you can decide like who will be the owner of the object, like who can perform actions, who can delete, whatever the action they can do. So this settings you can also apply. And also we have, which is ACL control list. Okay, so basically it grant basic read write permission to other AWS accounts to have access to your you know to your account. So it will be only you can make it enable if you have object ownership enabled. And then we have a cross origin resource sharing. So the cross origin resource sharing, which is basically a security feature implemented by a web browser to prevent malicious websites attacks. So that's why in AWS, the course can be configured at bucket level. We can modify the course configuration at the bucket. So the configuration bucket, which is a JSON documents, and which is specifies allowed origin, HTTP methods, headers for requests coming from your S3 resources. When you host a static website, something, then you mostly utilize this feature. So if I just show you an example of an policy, like what can be the policy here. So let's understand the rules. Like we have allowed origin rules, like allow the access if the request is being made from these domains, and which methods you want to allow. So you can define this, and you can allow the headers as well, and which headers can be used in the request. And so these are maximum age speed. So this will be the maximum time the browser should cache the calls response in the seconds. So this is the basics, a few advanced settings of S3. As we have learned a lot about S3, now it's time to deploy a static website on S3, and we can see how we can deploy an application as an S3 bucket, and we can access in the browser. So I'm going to deploy a React framework application. You don't need to worry about the technology. So you can just use, follow me how I am doing, and we will upload our application files on S3 bucket, and we will be able to access it live. So first of all, what you have to, two things: you must have a React application project, and the second thing is you must have an AWS account. So first I will just go to S3, and then I will search, just go to the S3 console, and here you can see I will just click on create a bucket. You can give any name to your bucket. I will just give a name, bucket code with move 100. Okay, and then you have to click on block all public access, and then you have to just create the bucket. So now our bucket is created. I have to just click on my bucket. In the bucket, you have to first click on properties. In the properties, you have to just drag and drop. You have to click on properties. In the properties, you have to go at the bottom and you have to enable static website hosting, so it can serve your static application. Enable, and then you have to, what will be your, we have index.html file will be our the base default page which will be serving. So you have to just save it, save changes. Next, what you have to do, you have to go to the permission tab. At the permission tab, you have to create a policy. You have to just click on edit. And here you have to write the name of your bucket. My bucket name is code with move 100. And then you have to save the changes. After saving, you have to go to the objects tab and you have to upload your application on S3. So let me show you my application. This is my React app. So first of all, you will need to create a build. How you can create a new build? You will need to run npm run build command, so you can create a build and then you can upload these build files to S3. So my build is created, so I will be just going to upload the content of this build file on S3. So just go to the S3 and click on upload. First I will upload the files and I will just go to my build. Okay, and I have to go here and in the build. Okay, I will just first upload the build files and then folder, the static folder. Yes, upload. So the files are being uploaded. Yeah, I have to click on upload. Okay, so almost all the files are being uploaded and done. Succeeded. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to go to the tab which is the properties tab. At the bottom you will see the link to your bucket website endpoint and you can see your application which is live. So this is simple way to deploy, set up your application on S3. So this was all about AWS S3. I hope you have learned a lot about S3 bucket and you can now utilize S3 in your projects, and you can deploy static websites and you can use S3 as a cloud storage service. Also, if you using Django and Python projects and you want to configure S3, you can watch this video and you can easily configure S3 in your project. And if you like this video and you have enjoyed, you can subscribe to my channel and you can hit the like button and share this video with someone who is also looking to learn S3 service. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.